Hey guys, in this video we shall be talking about linear equations. A linear equation is an equation between two variables that gives a straight line when plotted on a graph. A linear equation looks like any other equation. It is made up of two expression sets equal to each number. An example of a linear equation would be: there are many ways of writing linear equations, but they usually have constants and a must-have simple variables. But the variables on linear equations do not have exponents, square roots, cube roots, and so forth. The most common form is the slope-intercept equation of a straight line, written as y equals mx plus b, m being the slope and b being the intercept. Another common one is the point-slope form of the equation of a straight line, written as y minus y sub 1 is equals to m open parenthesis x minus x sub 1 close parenthesis, where x sub 1 and y sub 1 is a known point, m is equals to the slope of the line, and x and y is any other point on the line. And there is also the general form of the equation of a straight line, which is written as ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, where a and b cannot be both 0. Now that we understand what linear equations are, how do we solve for them? The steps for solving linear equations are: the first step is to remove any parentheses and combine like terms, if possible, on each side of the equation. Next step would be clear any fractions by multiplying all terms on both sides by the LCD, or the least common denominator. The third step is to group like terms on each side of the equal sign. The next step would be to isolate the x term, or the variable on one side of the equation, by adding or subtracting to combine like terms across the equal sign. The fifth step is to divide or multiply both sides of the equation by the coefficient of the variable to solve for x. And the last step would be to check the solution by substituting your answer into the original equation wherever you have a variable. If the solution is correct, both sides of the equation will be equal. For example, the first step to solving this equation is to remove the parentheses, making the new equation into. Next step is to do step 2, but since this example doesn't have fractions, we move to the next step, which is to group like terms, making the new equation into. Next would be to isolate the w term, but since all w's are on the left side of the equation, we move to the next step, which is step 5. We divide to solve for the w, making the new equation into. So, the value of w is equals to 2. The last thing to do is to check if our answer is correct. So, the solution is equals to 2. These steps may also be applied when clearing fractions. For example, step 1 is to remove the parentheses, making the equation into. Next is step 2, which is to find the least common denominator and multiplying it both sides and making the new equation into. Next would be to isolate the x term, making the new equation into. And the fifth is to divide to solve for x, making the value of x is equals to 18. The last step would be to check if our answer is correct. So, the solution is x is equals to 18. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching.
Created using Powtoon.